Hello CPC friends, I'm very happy to announce that I can finally release the Python-based MIDI converter for the ultimate MIDI card for the Amstrad CPC, so that we can easily create MIDI song content for the CPC. And for this we are going to download the software from the GitHub repository. So if you look for Blue Pill CPC, then all the software and the hardware and the schematics and the firmware, yes, everything is open source and available for download regarding the ultimate CPC MIDI card, right? And also the Python converter has now been uploaded today, and we are going to check it out. So here is a screenshot, right? And it resides in this Python converter subdirectory of the repository, and it's an executable, so it's a Python program which has been turned into an executable. But first let's download the complete zip of the GitHub archive, right? So we have that now under downloads, and I'm going to simply copy the Python converter subdirectory here and put it on my desktop so that we can have easy access to it, right? And now I'm going to run it. So it's simply called main. Of course Windows is going to complain about it because it's not digitally signed, right? But trust me, there is no virus or malware behind it, right? So we can run it anyway. And of course, you know, Norton antivirus also complains about it, so I promise I'm not going to do any harm to your PC. And now it has been started, right? So we can load a MIDI file, and it comes with a couple of MIDI files in the MIDI subdirectory of the Python converter. For example, let's use something simple here, Bach, right? And see, this is going to take 74 seconds now, and depending on the length basically and size of the MIDI file, internally it's really doing some MIDI real-time playback, right? And this is how long the song is, 74 seconds. And of course, I mean, you can even have, you know, MIDI songs that take minutes, but this is what it does, you know, in order to convert it. So I'm pausing the recording for another 50 seconds, and I'll be back in a minute. So here we go. Now it has been converted internally in memory, and now we only need to save it, right? And for this we are using the convert button. But before that, let me create a folder here for our MIDI bins, MIDI bin, right? So this is where we are putting the converted binaries. And let's navigate to this folder, and then I'm just calling it Bach, right? And so saving this in binary format goes immediate, right? And depending on the size of the MIDI file, right, you will get multiple segments, right? So each segment gets a postfix number like 0, right? But if the file is longer, then you have 0, 1, 2, and so on. Each file is maximally 16 kilobytes long, so you can load it into one memory bank, right, in the extended memory of the CPC. Okay, so you can also, you know, change the speed. So if you make that value here smaller than the default 358, right, then it's going to play slower, right? And if you make it larger, then it's going to play faster. But, you know, I would just recommend, you know, leave it at 358. That's the default, and we can just exit. And now, how do we turn this into a CPC song disc, right? Like some of the song discs that I was showing on YouTube on my channel, right? So for this, we can take one of my song discs as a blueprint, basically. See, in the repo under CPC there are these demo discs, right? We can, for example, simply use Force, right? This is a Tangerine Dream Force Majeure demo song disc, right? And let's just rename this into Bach. And now I'm using Devil Marcus's disk tool in order to doctor with the disk a little bit, right? So first we are deleting all the Force 0 to Force 4 binary files, right? And as I explained, you know, those are like 16 kilobyte segments, right, for the extended memory banks. So let's delete those, clean up, and now we are putting we are putting Bach on the disk, right? Bach 0. Well, all the segments that were created, right? Just move them over. And then there's a bug file that we can delete, right? Clean up. And then here's the screen. So, you know, some of my demo discs have a nice screen, right? And I'm creating these screens for the CPC using this fantastic conf image CPC program, right? So, but for now, let's just delete the force majeure screen. And that one I'm going to rename already into the force bus. This is basically the main basic program, right, which loads the machine code and the song data, right? Let's just rename this, and the rest you can just leave the way it is, right? Playback bass, the basic program is the Maxim assembler version, right? But the binary version of this is playback bin, so that's so this is sufficient to play that back, right? Okay, and now let's use WinApe to adjust the program, right? Load Bach. We need to do a couple more things. So if you look at that, so first of all, the song is now Bach, not force anymore, right? And then N is a number of 16 kilobyte segments, so that's going to be only one here. And then what else, right? As explained, it's also loading a screen here in 270, 280, right? We can delete that. And then 270 got deleted, so okay, you can just, you know, go to 290 again, renum, and save. And now that should do it basically, right? It's loading Bach0.bin, and now playback already started, as you can see from that caret symbol under the L, right? So this is basically the symbol for C4, so it's printing the memory bank number, which is currently playing back in ASCII, and with Q you can quit it. Alright guys, so the Bach.disk is now in my real CPC 6128, right? And let's see what it does. So those are the files we created, right? And let's just run Bach, and let's see if we can hear something. And as I said, if I hit Q, then it just starts again. It reloads the file, and yeah. I also have the amplifier here. Gotta find the right cable. Yeah, that worked well, I would say. Okay, bye guys.